Thank you so much. I just wanted to introduce our team. It's Jack Kelly, PhD, Diego Quiroz, PhD, and Austin Stavovchik, Masters, just graduating. Ryan McNabb, also Masters graduating, and Michelle Lacour, also graduating. And she also recorded this in 3D. This contraption here is the microphone right there, which can record in 3 dimensions. So we can play it downstairs or in a lab next door in 3 dimensions.
So clear, so pristine, the sound.
You.
Can we just have one word about this beautiful instrument that I
Yes,
don't know
please.
of?
Oui, bien sûr. Donc, c'est un archiluth. C'est un
Oui.
instrument de la famille des luths. Donc, normalement, on est habitué de voir des luths plus petits. Puis, à l'époque baroque, donc au XVIIe siècle, ces instruments se sont allongés, principalement pour avoir des cordes plus graves. Donc, avec ces basses-là, parce qu'il y avait des instruments à ce moment-là plus sonores, comme le clavecin, les violons, violoncelles. Donc, c'est des instruments pour pouvoir accompagner des chanteurs ou pouvoir jouer dans des petits ensembles de musique baroque. Donc, c'est un instrument assez impressionnant qui est disparu pratiquement au 18e siècle, remplacé par la guitare, par d'autres instruments. Puis donc, au 20e siècle, il y a eu tout le renouveau de la musique ancienne, puis on a recommencé à jouer de ces instruments-là. Il y a peu d'instruments qui ont survécu de l'époque. La plupart sont dans des musées, dans des conditions un peu lamentables. Mais maintenant, les fabricants, les luthiers reconstruisent des instruments d'après les modèles anciens là, pour s'approcher le plus possible là, des sonorités de l'époque.
Et le grillage est comme une dentelle. Est-ce que c'est typique? C'est pas un trou, là?
Oui, non, c'est ça. C'est vraiment, tout est gravé, tout est fait. Puis ça aussi, les luthiers ont repris des modèles qui existaient à l'époque. Donc tout est travaillé. Donc,
Est-ce que ça modifie le son?
Non,
Non.
ça ne modifie pas le son. En fait, sur la guitare, c'est seulement un trou. Puis pour le luth, c'était vraiment un instrument avec un soin particulier dans tous les détails pour en faire un bel objet.
Are you a student, a graduate, a prima donna? You're so good.
Thank you. I'm graduating from the graduate diploma in performance and early music right now. But I finished my master's at McGill last May, and then I stayed for another year to perform because it's
Will you
fantastic
perform here in
school.
Montreal?
Yeah. Hopefully, I sing in a few different churches and some ensembles, and yeah.
C'est très beau.
Très bien.
Alexis is both a lute player and a musicologist.
So, I'm studying with Julie in musicology, so on the musique de la Renaissance et la musique pour luth.
Très beau.
C'est magnifique. Oui. Et bravo d'avoir tout un...
Where are these done in Germany or here?
They are in Belgium.
Belgium.
Yeah, they're custom made for us by this engineer, acoustician and engineer. So yeah, made in Belgium, and the amplifiers are Japanese. The signal processing engines are Swiss.
Bring the
the computers are American.
So you've done recording of many acoustic environments. How many would you have at this point? If we had several weeks, how many environments could we be immersed in?
Well, we have a complete picture of over 200 venues,
Okay.
and each venue may have few hundred these fingerprints.
Yes.
So we have around 10,000 fingerprints, in our database, and right now we're working on it. And one of our PhD students who was here earlier is working on a computer interface where we actually have a model of each space in 3D visual model.
Yeah.
We can navigate through it. We can get closer and further. We can listen to this microphone on this receiver position. We can explore it, and then you can sort or you can look for the one you want based on different perceptual criteria. The dimensions, not just the name of the venue, but
Yes.
well, let's say you want something that is bright or something that is warm, something that is expansive, or whatever. It is
Yes.
many different ways. So this has so much data, but there is a search engine just for that to help you find what
Yeah.
you need.
I remember once I heard a piece performed in a forest environment.
Yes.
So you also have those nature type of
Yes.
environment, because I know you have churches and halls and so on, but I
How
remember
nice that you remember, Madam
Yes.
Principal. This is
yeah,
we're
a
happy.
forest. I think it was a forest in Poland, if I
It
remember.
was forest in Poland,
Yes.
that's right.
Yeah. Yes.
And it was near where I was born.
Yes.
You're Polish.
It is.
Yeah.
Your name is
It was a
very
beautiful
Polish.
forest, and you
Yeah.
know, when you clap your hand and when you hear the birds,
Uh-huh.
you know, you hear that a little delicate ambience because of the dispersion of the sound and scattering by all the trees, and it has a very nice, soft, gentle, like silk, you know, that kind of reverb. And we have another one from a salt mine underground, 300 meters underground near Krakow.
Mhm.
And there's, you know, from the Middle Ages, there's a lake inside, and we, through a small elevator, we went with all the equipment, and to measure that, some places have no electricity. We have to run electricity for a long distance, you know. But it's fascinating just to get these measurements done.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
The pyramids.
Yes. that
Some
would be a good
jazzmen
one.
played in the pyramids.
Yes, but we did measure Hagia Sophia. I don't know if you
Oh,
know.
oui, oui,
Oh,
oui,
yes.
Hagia Sophia.
Yes, in
So
Istanbul.
beautiful.
Yeah.
It took a long time to get permissions and to get, you know, to work with the Ministry of
Yes.
Religion, Ministry of Culture, Ministry. But a professor from McGill was helping us to navigate through all this, and you will never be able to hear music there because it is closed for
Right.
normal use. So we can actually play music and hear music being performed in that space. And we helped our colleagues at Stanford to create a public performance in Hagia Sophia in their new concert hall. So, you know, it's it looks like you enjoyed it, and this is the
Very much.
most pleasure for us to develop something that people will enjoy and make be closer to music. And the music should be heard this way in the right environment.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
So you can dream of playing wherever you want.
Yeah, right?
Ils peuvent rêver de jouer
Ah,
où
oui,
est-ce
oui,
qu'ils
oui,
veulent.
oui.
The hope is that in the future you would be able to have something like this at home, and depending
Yes.
on the mood you have today or tomorrow, you
Yes.
could change it. You know, you would
Yes.
adapt to your sense of how do you like your space. But imagine if you're in Japan and you have a small room, having this will expand your sense of how much room do you have, how much space you have. In fact, we have an agreement, a project with NASA, Ames Center, where we would like to introduce virtual acoustics into, you know,
Space.
yeah, all the space where, you know, the living in the closed quarters can be made more human.
Yes.
So do you do performance for the public in this environment sometimes?
Usually, we perform a lot in Redpath Hall, especially for the early music department. It's one of the best spaces and acoustics for these types of instruments. I mean, I think one reason why this is such a great opportunity for us is because for the archlute and the voice, it's such intimate music and you know, two intimate instruments, and you kind of sometimes if you have such a big hall, the sound can get lost and you can't understand the words and the text, and so to be able to work in a space like this and cater it exactly to the two instruments is really fantastic. And but at McGill, I mean, we have several really fantastic performing spaces. I mean, there's Tana and Pollock and Clara and
And
so
in
we
the
have-
MMR, which you saw, we do
Right.
sometimes do concerts with virtual
Yes.
acoustics.
Yes.
And in fact, they change them during the concert and so forth.
And
It's
then
also
the new system will allow.
And the new system will allow, and also composers use it, so they can actually change the acoustic during a piece,
Right.
and that can be part of the composition.
Ah.
So that's
Yeah.
another aspect of
Right.
this, that it becomes a kind of creative option for composers as well as performers.
To articulate a music, you bring your room is one of the instruments, you know,
Right,
in which
exactly.
everyone can then
Can you
communicate
imagine
musically.
making the room small and then big again during a piece?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. And what is interesting is increasingly we have these the studies about how we react to music and its impact on our mental health, for example, and so
Absolutely.
on. So the
Yeah.
notion that you could even create not only the you can create the environment and to listen to music
Yes.
that will have an impact on your
Yes.
moods and on the way you
Absolutely.
feel. I think that was just last week there was a great article that was published about that I saw. Of course, from somebody from McGill. No, that's
So you
because you
don't
know
need
how
any-
it works.
You don't need anything else, do you?
No, it's because you know, as most organization, every day you have the press clipping,
Right.
and it was last week, and there was an
Yeah.
article from a neuroscientist,
Yeah.
and it was about increasingly using music to help us in keeping good mental wellness.
Absolutely.
And
Well-being,
so when
of
you
course.
start thinking that you can build you can not only choose the music that makes you feel good, but you can have it in an environment that makes you feel good.
That's right.
That
you
would
know,
be, you know,
And for memories too.
Yeah.
People that have lost
yeah,
memories.
it
or
would be
they have
great.
of
distant
course,
memories.
to recall your experiences through music and through
Yes.
sound.
Yeah.
You know, like through smell, you can remember what happened.
Yeah.
You know, where you. The same through acoustics. If you go into a space and it has a long reverberation, like it's kind of like breathing out.
Yeah.
Slowly, you know, and it changes your
Yeah.
emotional state, you know, right?
Yeah.
It makes you feel more at ease,
Yeah.
and you know,
Yeah.
so there is a lot that we need to still
Yeah.
find out, but there's great potential.
There are also projects in the sounds in the city where people work with. Oh, je peux parler en français aussi.
Oui.
Avec des urbanistes pour dire justement tous les bruits dans la ville, on en a beaucoup. Puis il y a plusieurs projets, plusieurs personnes qui travaillent à essayer de voir qu'est-ce qu'on peut faire pour faire des environnements plus humains. C'est ça. C'est pas tout
Des
nécessairement
bulles,
avec
des
la
bulles.
C'est pas nécessairement avec la musique, ça peut être avec des filtres acoustiques qui, bon, on va pouvoir finalement entendre les oiseaux au lieu d'entendre l'autoroute. Oui, le son, on oublie, mais ça va directement aussi aux émotions. Hein,
Oui.
alors,
Tu fais juste à la Times Square 2 jours, puis tu figures que tu n'oublies pas.
That's right. It's
It's
a
also-
transportation.
It's also very democratic because not everybody can go to La Scala de Milan ou
Exactly.
et en Hollande c'est
That's right.
Gadao là, c'est l'acoustique est merveilleux
Right.
et on peut pas tous aller de ces endroits-là.
But-
Adélaïde.
Yeah. So I have to ask you a question about acoustics.
Sure.
I asked Maestro Nagano when he brought the orchestra to Carnegie.
Yes.
So I asked him the difference between that hall and our new Maison Symphonique. So I'll tell you the answer now, maybe you can explain to me. He said, they're both very good. He said one is a Mercedes and the other one is a BMW.
Which one is the BMW?
Diplomatic, right.
Maison Symphonique. And he said the Carnegie Hall was a Mercedes.
Yes.
What was he telling me?
He was saying more of a reputation, and this is more technology and performance. And the other one, actually, Carnegie Hall is not that great acoustically, but it is obviously very famous and very, you know, so many people performed and they want to perform. It has some acoustical problems because of the stage layout, and it's very tall. So brass, for example, sometimes gets overbearing because and they have to play across, not along the hall, the stage, to make it less dominant in the balance, you know. But it's still a beautiful hall. It's just great to be there. It's like great to sit in a nice Mercedes and
And there is also what we used to call the psychological acoustic.
yes. That's
So
right.
when you're in a venue, you know that maybe half of the people are
Yes.
having it's really psychological. We are sure that that's the good acoustic, and you hear it like that.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to Boston, Mahler was here, you know, and you know, I mean, you go to Vienna and you have so many composers. It feels different. you
Yes.
know.
Yes.
Merci beaucoup.
Well, but thank you
Merci,
so
merci
much.
so
Thank
much.
you.